Welcome back to Blood Bowl 2. I'm Kyle,
I'm Jay.
and today we're going to talk about the Bretonnians. First team we're going to talk about is our standard Bretonnian team.
All right. Again, as with all standard teams that we do, typically pick up 3 rerolls and apothecary. Sometimes that changes, but this time it holds true. Starting off with our first players, we got our Blitzers, our jack of all trades on this team. These guys are a little silly. They come in with movement, speed 7, strength 3, agility 3, 8 armor class. Pretty solid across the board. They come with block, they come with catch, and they come with Dauntless. As if you recall with our Troll Slayers, this is an ability that's going to help us take down some of the stronger opponents. But one of the big takeaways from here is they have access to all 3 of these trees here. They have agility, general, and passing. These things, once you get some star player points put on them, they're going to really be able to shine. They're going to be the top players on your team. That's why they're all the way at the top of the list. They already come with a lot of abilities to begin with.
It's pretty crazy, because if you look at it like that, they're a catcher, a quarterback, and a defensive player wrapped in one. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you could literally go anywhere with these players.
They're worth all 110 of the points that you spent for them. Followed up with that, with our blockers, which a little different than normal blitzers. These guys, 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 8 armor, pretty standard. But they come with wrestle, so pretty fun ability. You know, whenever the player uses wrestle on a both down, the players get put in prone. It's a pretty solid ability across the way.
You have access to strength and the general tree, so you can get your blocks and your mighty blow and all that stuff on these guys, and it's pretty useful.
Yeah.
Next up, we got our linemen.
Linemen, pretty weak sauce on our team, but they're only 40k, so keep that in mind whenever you're out there. Always throw these guys in front of your bullets to try to soak up whatever you can. 6 movement, 3 strength, 2 agility, terrible. You're not going to be moving the ball, and 7 armor. They're probably not going to be on your team for very long.
Yeah, these guys
they
are.
do come with fend, which whenever they throw a block at you, you'll be able to stiff arm back and keep them in place so they can't follow up blocks, which is good because we don't want them to hit us as much as they can with only an armor value of 7. But they're the meat shields for the team with only 40,000 wasted if you lose one.
Here's something that we didn't really talk about. The Bretonnian, they only have 3 types of players. So
yeah. So it's gonna be a mix up of we only got 3 different team lineups for you today, but there's not a lot of variety you got here, but there is some variety, and we're gonna show it to you.
Okay, next up we have our Bretonnian Bashi team, and they do this very well.
All right, again with only 3 access to 3 different types of units, this is taking to the extreme on the more Bashi side. We only got 1 reroll, 1 apothecary, but we do got a fan factor of 4, which means every game we play, we're at least going to be able to replace 1 lineman. So take that in mind.
Which we may have to do.
Yeah. All right, starting off, we got our blitzers as usual. These are, like I said, jack of all trades. They can do so much for this team. They're so strong, and one of the few talked about players in Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I actually never used the Bretonnian team, so after we built this, I'm actually going to go and play myself, try to figure out what's going on with this team.
Quite a bit in the past, but it's been a number of years. But I played them on tabletop versus actual Blood Bowl 2. Again, we got our blitzers with their access to the strength tree and blockers with access to the strength tree in general. Come with wrestle. Not a great ability, but a good ability nonetheless. And more linemen.
The white bread, once again.
Yep, the white bread of the team.
Yep. So, I mean, with the blitzers being, pretty costly, and, you only having access to those 3 units, this is a minor tweak that changes the team completely. in favor of, you know, getting close to those other players and making them pay for it, taking the ball from them.
And with giving us a fan factor of 4 really boosts up our this is a good midline team that's going to earn a decent amount of money each game.
And last but not least, our favorite snowball team.
Yep, but this is an interesting snowball team. We're gonna stick to our guns and keep the 3 blitzers on there. 9 fan factor, 3 rerolls, and apothecary. The rerolls are a little more expensive on this team, so keep that in mind for later on. You know, got a lot of linemen here, so being that they're only 40K a piece, you know, you could lose 1 or 2 of them. You could even drop it down to two blitzers if you really wanted to, and pick up another lineman, and then really give yourself another re-roll and some cheerleaders and assistant coaches. It's really up to you, but this is the way we run it.
Another thing to keep in mind, all your linemen do have 2 agility. Okay, so the blitzers are kind of, you know, the heart and soul of this particular snowball team.
Yeah, they're only going to be able to throw to each other, and they're only going to be able to catch with each other. So,
right,
you know, they're also going to be your blockers. You're actually probably going to want them on the line more so than you actual linemen. So, you know, you're going to have to adjust it a little bit. With that 2 agility, really hurts them. But it's not a showstopper. It does not mean they're not going to be able to pick up the ball. It just means you're gonna need your re-rolls.
Exactly. I mean, what I like to do in situations like this where you have weaker players, and Jay's heard me talk about this several times, is I like to group players together. Because it's nothing for you to have that blitzer and a couple of linemen together just so they can eat whatever blocks are coming in and protect his tackle zone, especially if he has the ball, and then you can march down the field like that.
Yeah, and with Finn, you'll be able to
keep him at bay
against some of these blockers.
Right. So that's how we build a snowball team. That's how we build our Bretonnian teams. If you guys have a way that you build it, put it in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them there too.